Hi, I'm Ljubica Kolb, and this is my fourth activity for Critical Assignment 2. I'm focusing on the book El Barrio, written by Debbie Chocolate and illustrated by David Diaz. For my fourth activity, so this will be my second language learners, I really wanted to focus on not necessarily them being able to comprehend or anything like that, but I think whenever they are going more in depth in learning the language, I thought it would be fun for them to focus on our conventions of standard English. So our verbs, our adjectives, and our nouns. I know second grade is a little early for them to be really diving in, but I think it's a great way to kind of introduce it to them. Because this book is multicultural literature, students will be able probably to relate, especially with the Spanish included. If my students, your second language learners are Hispanic, they'll relate and they might feel more comfortable with this activity. So what I have is, you can get any sort of cup or container. I have these 3 cups, and I've labeled them noun, verb, and adjective. I've placed a brief description as to what it is, so a noun's a person, place, or thing. And then underneath it, I gave an example. So the girl went to the beach, and I underlined girl and beach, as those are the nouns in the sentence. Same with my other 2. Very brief, very simple, so that students do have something to guide them through the activity. What they're going to do for this activity is they're going to get maybe like a basket, or it doesn't even have to be a basket. It could be, a little box of these cards that they have words on them. So this one has the word sparkling. I have, ice cold, sister. I have all different words that apply to my, put these back here so you can see them, noun, verb, and adjective. From the book. These are from the book. Students will work together as a group. They can assign one student to do the nouns, one to do the verbs, one to do the adjectives. They can work together. It doesn't matter. However you think it would work better. They can pick up these words out of the middle of their table and say one student gets the word dancing. They need to determine which one it goes into. Because dancing is movement, it's an action, it's going to go into the verbs. All they have to do is just simply identify where it goes. A way to maybe help your students even further is to leave some blank ones of your little slips for them and tell them, okay, I want you to find at least one more example of each convention in the book. And the book will be provided for them. They can scan through, or they can use, if they remember, they can just use their prior knowledge, write it on there, and put it into the cups. Also, I think it's really nice for the students to visually see where the words are going, and then whenever they go through to read again, possibly the same book, they'll be able to identify as they're reading, oh, this is a verb, or this is a noun. It really brings it to light, especially with second language learners. I think it's important for them to understand verbs, nouns, and adjectives. It's just really basic. The standard for this is LAFS.2.L.1.1, which is to demonstrate the command of the conventions of standard English, grammar, and usage when writing or speaking, which I think applies perfectly to this activity. The rubric that I have for this assignment focuses on a 10-point total, and then the 2 sections are the understanding of standard English conventions and then identification of other examples. So for my understanding standard English conventions, the lower level, the student was not able to identify the difference between a noun, verb, and adjective correctly, even with the definitions on the cups present. And then at the higher level, they're able to identify 10 or more words in there with their assigned part and grammar. So 10 total out of the 3 different cups. And then in the identification of other examples, students weren't able to recognize other examples, whether it's from their prior experience or from the book. And then at the higher end of their points, the student would be able to identify examples both from the book and their personal experience, at least 2 for each different convention of Standard English. This can be done a multitude of ways. Another way I thought of was if you're brave and you're okay with them having little ping pong balls, you could write the word on the ping pong ball and have them try and throw it into the cup. It's a thought. You can make them trash cans, but just for the sake of simplicity and, considering you might have other activities going on at that time, I think this is a really nice way to keep the room quiet and to have the students just focus on the task at hand rather than trying to play a game. But the game is always another fun option too, if students really do understand the point of the activity. So that was my 4th activity, and I hope you enjoyed it.